Welcome to the YouTube channel, Contact Center Knowledge Hub, your one-stop solution for expert guidance, best practices, and actionable knowledge in the world of contact centers. Explore, learn, and enhance contact center skills. Let's unpack bill to pay in a contact center, which is another key financial ratio, closely related to bill to cost but focused specifically on the relationship between what is billed means revenue and what is paid directly to employees means wages or salaries. Let's define bill to pay. Bill to pay measures the ratio between the billable revenue per unit of service, that's what the client pays, and the direct labor pay cost per unit, that's what agents and staff are paid in wages. This metric isolates the direct labor economics. It focuses only on what comes in from the client and what goes out to the workforce, without including overhead, facilities, or technology costs. A higher bill-to-pay ratio means there's more financial room to cover fixed costs like overhead, platforms, and infrastructure, and to generate profit margins. This makes bill-to-pay a powerful operational and commercial health indicator, especially in BPO and outsourcing environments where labor cost is the largest expense component. Let's look at the formula for bill-to-pay. Bill-to-pay ratio equals bill rate, which is the revenue per unit, divided by direct pay cost per unit. Where bill rate is what the client is billed, this can be calculated per hour, per FTE, per call, or any other agreed-upon commercial unit. Direct pay cost is the amount paid to employees in wages and benefits for the same unit of measurement. In simpler terms, it tells you how many rupees or dollars you're earning from the client for each unit of service, compared to how many you're paying your people to deliver it. A higher bill-to-pay ratio means stronger labor leverage and more flexibility to cover overhead and margin. A lower ratio signals potential pressure on profitability or pricing. Let's bring this to life with an example scenario. Bill rate, what the client pays, is $18 per agent hour. Direct pay, which includes agent wages and benefits, is $9 per agent hour. Bill-to-pay ratio equals 18 divided by 9, which gives us 2.0. Interpretation: for every $1 paid to an agent in wages, the company bills $2 to the client. A ratio of 2.0 means there is ample financial room to cover overhead, technology costs, compliance, and still retain a healthy profit margin. But if this ratio falls close to 1.0, the financial cushion disappears, and both overhead recovery and profit margin get squeezed. This is why bill-to-pay is considered a core commercial health metric in contact center economics. It directly influences pricing strategy, margin planning, and contract sustainability. Let's break down the key components of bill-to-pay, starting with the bill rate, the numerator in the equation. This is the amount billed to the client per unit of service, and it's influenced by several critical factors. 1. Contract structure. The way the contract is designed determines how billing happens. It could be hourly, per full-time equivalent, per call, or outcome-based, such as per sale or per promise to pay. This defines the foundation of your commercial model. 2. Geography and market pricing. Billing rates differ significantly between offshore, nearshore, and onshore locations. Market demand, labor cost structures, and pricing benchmarks all shape the bill rate. This is why the same service might be billed at different rates depending on where it's delivered. 3. SLA penalties and incentives. Service level penalties can reduce your effective bill rate, while incentive structures or Gantt models can increase it. In many contracts, performance directly impacts what's ultimately billed and collected. In summary, the bill rate isn't static. It's a strategic lever shaped by contract design, market economics, and operational performance. Managing it effectively is essential to protect revenue and maintain healthy bill-to-pay ratios. Now, let's look at the direct pay cost, the denominator in the bill-to-pay equation. This represents what the company actually pays its people to deliver each unit of service. And just like the numerator, it's shaped by multiple components. 1. Agent base wage. This is the fixed salary or hourly pay that agents receive. It forms the core foundation of the labor cost structure. 2. Variable pay. This includes incentives, performance bonuses, and overtime payments. These elements fluctuate with volume, performance, or campaign goals and can significantly impact total labor cost. 3. Statutory benefits. This covers legally mandated benefits such as Provident Fund, Social Security contributions, insurance, and leave accrual. While often overlooked, these are real costs that must be factored into the denominator. 4. Geographic wage variation. Wage levels differ across regions and markets. An agent working in an offshore location may cost significantly less than one in an onshore or high-cost geography. This wage variance directly affects the bill-to-pay ratio. In summary, direct pay cost isn't just the base salary, it's the full picture of wages, variable compensation, benefits, and location-based cost dynamics. Managing this denominator effectively is key to protecting profitability and ensuring commercial competitiveness. Let's now talk about workforce efficiency and its impact on the bill-to-pay ratio. Even if your bill rate and pay structure are well designed, inefficient workforce utilization can quietly erode your margins. 1. Productive hours versus paid hours. When shrinkage is high, meaning more time is lost to breaks, absenteeism, or non-productive activities, the effective pay cost per productive hour increases. In other words, you're paying for more hours than you're actually getting in output. 2. Occupancy. Higher occupancy means your agents spend a larger share of their paid time actively handling customer interactions. This improves utilization and keeps the effective labor cost per unit lower. Low occupancy, on the other hand, drives up cost per productive hour and weakens the bill-to-pay ratio. In short, workforce efficiency is a silent profitability lever. Strong shrinkage management and optimal occupancy levels allow you to maximize every dollar spent on labor, strengthening your financial position without changing your bill rate. Let's explore contract and market dynamics and how they influence the bill-to-pay ratio. These external and strategic factors can shift both the numerator and the denominator, directly affecting margins. 1. Labor market pressure. When wages rise due to labor market inflation or talent scarcity, the denominator increases, which can push the bill-to-pay ratio down if billing rates remain flat. This is why regular pricing reviews and wage forecasting are so critical. 2. Client mix. Not all clients pay the same. A portfolio with higher value clients often allows for higher billing rates, which improves the numerator and strengthens the ratio. On the other hand, a client mix skewed toward low-margin work can squeeze financial flexibility. 3. Automation impact. Automation can reduce dependency on full-time employee wages, lowering direct pay costs. However, it can also reduce total billable hours, especially if pricing is tied to volume or FTEs. That's why balancing automation strategy with commercial models is essential. In short, contract and market dynamics set the playing field. Wage trends, client portfolio strategy, and automation all shape how much financial room your operation has and how stable your bill-to-pay ratio remains over time. Let's wrap up with a quick summary of bill-to-pay. Bill-to-pay focuses on the direct relationship between revenue and wages. It isolates the core labor economics, what comes in from the client versus what goes out to the workforce. It's a simpler, more pure labor version of bill to cost because it excludes overhead, facilities, and technology expenses. A healthy bill to pay ratio typically falls between 1.8 and 2.2 in offshore markets and between 1.3 and 1.6 in onshore markets. This ratio ensures there's enough financial room in the model to cover overhead, technology, compliance, and profit, creating a sustainable commercial structure. In short, bill to pay is a core profitability lever in contact center economics. It tells you, in the simplest way, whether your pricing and wage structure give you enough breathing room to operate and grow profitably. Thanks for watching my YouTube channel, Contact Center Knowledge Hub. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights. See you in the next video.